What surprising skill do groundhogs have? And while Jeff answers that, I'm gonna give a thank you to the patrons. If you want to become a patron, head on over to the Patreon. That's patreon.com/Carscast. Where you can get exclusive access to bonus episodes, Q&As, shout-outs at the end of every episode, and much, much more. It's a great way to support the podcast. So head on over to the Patreon.
It's the number one way to support the podcast. Yeah, you get to do a fun Zoom hangout with Carson and I and the other patrons, and we play some GeoGuessr.
It's always a good time.
It's a great time. Not great scores, but we're trying.
Yeah.
Now,
with that out of the way, what did Jeff come up with for an answer?
Well, here's the thing. It's like you say it's a special, like, unexpected skill that groundhogs have.
Yeah, what's a surprising skill?
It's surprising because I feel like I think of them as digging, but that's not surprising. That's like the normal skill. If the answer is digging, this person who wrote this question is just surprised by everything.
Also, to groundhog experts, this is not surprising news. They're like, that's basic. That's intro groundhog.
Okay, okay, I got it.
Here we go.
They can sing.
That would have that would have been a great segue. But it's actually a terrible answer. They cannot sing. The answer reads, they can climb trees, period. They also can swim. But they is spelled the. The also can swim.
Who wrote this question?
I don't know. This app is getting kind of weird, honestly. I don't know where they... Yeah.
I just wouldn't... Like, is it supposed to be surprising because they're called groundhogs? So you're like, well, now they're tree hogs.
They're tree hogs. They're just hogs. They're just a couple of hogs.
Yeah, that's not at all surprising to me. I would, if someone said, do you think groundhogs can climb trees? I'd be like, yeah, probably.
No.
And also swimming, I'm not surprised by that either. So this is, honestly, the question's more wrong than I am.
I'm more surprised that Andrew Garfield can swim. You know what I mean? Which is what happens in...
Which, yeah, he does swim in Tick, Tick, Boom, and he sings.
Mm-hmm. He does it all in Tick, Tick, Boom.
Yeah, well, was that him singing? I didn't look this up.
I think it was. I am familiar enough with Andrew Garfield to know that was his voice, unless they found like a look-alike or a sing-alike.
Well, it wouldn't be a look-alike.
Yeah, that's why I said sing-alike.
It'd be a voice-alike.
A voice-alike.
Yeah, sing-alike. Yeah.
A sing-double. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's not jump too ahead of ourselves. It is.
No, we don't. How was your week?
It was good. Not a lot new. There's this one really cool thing that happened that you know about, but I don't think I'm ready to announce it yet because I'm waiting to see how things pan out. Because some things. But,
I mean, another exciting thing is you got this new jacket.
I did get this new jacket. Yeah, florist on the back.
It says florist on the back. Now, is that anything to do with the band Florist?
I didn't even know there was a band named Florist. Actually, I'm really out of touch.
Yeah,
with
so I was
music
because that was when I first saw it. That's what I thought. It was like merch for the band Florist.
Oh, yeah, no, never heard of them. I have heard of the band The Garden, which is sort of the same, but they're. I
mean, it's similar in like what the name means. It's not similar in that it would make sense for a band called The Garden to have a jacket as merch. This is Florist.
Florist, yeah. You know what? I Googled Florist thinking it would give me information about the band, and I don't know what I was expecting, but it didn't. It gave me Florist information.
Yeah, I think you're going to need to type Florist band.
Yeah, I should have said that. But wow, so many good segues we could be making. But my week was good. Not a lot happened. It is Thanksgiving. I thought we could touch on if you have any fun Thanksgiving plans, Jeff.
I mean, real quick, just a recommendation. The band Florist is actually very good.
Awesome, yeah.
But yeah, Thanksgiving. Were we supposed to have like a Thanksgiving anecdote?
Well, I did my first Friendsgiving this week, where I had to prepare dishes. I made 3 dishes. Now I had some help, but I did make 3. I made a bean.
This is 6 when you do it with both hands.
I made 3 dishes.
For people listening to the audio, all 3 times he said 3 dishes. He's held up the number 3 with his fingers, but with both hands, making it 6.
I made 6 dishes.
All right, Karsten, what were the dishes?
A green bean casserole with some fried onions on top. I made a sweet potato marshmallow casserole. Now I had help with cookie because I know we've talked about this dish in the past and how I thought it was messed up, but you were like, "This is a classic." I made it myself. We used jumbo marshmallows, which was insane.
Yeah. I mean,
it's normal?
you can do it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't, but I mean, you can.
Yeah.
It's not really like gonna make or break the dish.
Right.
I'm really curious. How did you feel about the dish?
It turned out great, and I thought it was fine. It was pretty good. Yeah, I liked it. The thing is like I barely saved any room for it because I was so full, and I was kind of saving it because it's a sweet dish for like dessert almost, and it was pretty solid. It was good.
Now, sorry, keep going.
I was just gonna say I'm not a big sweet potato fan, and I think I said this last time we talked about this. So, but the marshmallow was a great addition.
The marshmallow is amazing. The marshmallow adds that extra bit of sweetness. Now, I think it's pretty debatable whether or not to call it a dessert. I personally don't. I eat it in the middle of the meal.
Which makes sense.
I understand why people do. Now, you didn't have pineapple in it, did you?
No.
No, that's what I also go with.
Wow, we did like cinnamon,
pineapple like bits, so you get like nice crunch of pineapple in there.
I can see that working. I remember I kind of was like, no, when you said this before, but I can see that now that I know the dish from beginning to end. It's like it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, and anyone out there looking for a fun semi-dessert, but also not really a dessert to add to your Thanksgiving meal, if you're looking for another side dish, sweet potato casserole with marshmallows on top, and if you want some pineapple in there, check that out. Look into it. Big proponent. Because I made this. Yeah, I told you. I think I made this when I was in France for people I was staying with, and they all were mocking the idea of it.
Yeah,
they were like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
I had to spend. The issue, right, is they don't grow sweet potatoes in France, and especially with like the supply chain issues the whole world's having. At the grocery store, I had to buy 4 sweet potatoes to make this. And it cost me about $14 to buy 4 sweet potatoes because they were imported from the United States.
It cost you $14 to just get roasted by French people, basically.
Yeah, and also that's not counting the other ingredients. Like it probably cost me $20 to make this.
Marshmallows and brown sugar, cinnamon.
Yeah.
Damn.
Vanilla extract.
Oh, the vanilla. Okay, because we were putting together the dish, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this. And then we put in that teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I was like, this has all of a sudden become a very intriguing dish in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel kind of
vanilla.
like a chemist or something.
I know, you're like, just a dash of
yeah, just like it's like the Powerpuff Girls intro. You're just like,
yeah.
tiny bit of whatever it was. I forget what the ingredients were in that intro, but the one that's like the smallest amount.
Yeah.
I feel like love wouldn't be the smallest amount.
No.
just a tiny bit of love.
Too much love could get dangerous.
Yeah.
The final dish was a
Huey Lewis in the News, The Power of Love. Anyways, what's the final dish, Karsten?
Southern baked mac and cheese.
Southern. Okay, that sounds great.
It's just we made it. Now this was only a big deal for me because I'm not a good cook. And
I don't know that.
I was not lying.
To believe it.
I'm really not. Well, I actually don't think I'm not. I'm not a bad cook. I'm just really bad at cooking. Like I don't like to cook. I
don't understand the distinction. You're like, well, the food tastes terrible, but I look awesome in the hat.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I just I don't like cooking. I don't do it often. I order a lot, and this was a big deal because it forced me to take out the knives and knives out and
knives out.
Make sweet potatoes out.
Next year, knives out too.
Knives out. Yeah, that was how
Is
my
Knives
week
Out 2
was.
coming out next year?
It is coming out. I don't know if it's coming out next year for sure, but it should be. I mean, they've wrapped production, I'm pretty sure. So
That's good.
yeah.
I wonder who gets killed this time.
Right. Maybe Daniel Craig.
I think not Daniel Craig, 'cause if they're making a Knives Out 3, and that would be a real
That was
big issue.
Only wrong answer to that
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should I mean, Jeff, how was your week? It was
Yeah, my week was, fine. I was doing stuff I normally do.
Let's quickly touch on the dolphin.
Yeah, the dolphin. Yeah.
Dolphin passed.
So many people did reach out to me who are listeners of the podcast because the star of the film Dolphin Tale that I was an extra in and also volunteered at the aquarium, Winter the Dolphin, passed away this past week. It's very big news in western
Dolphin world.
coastal Florida.
Yeah, the dolphin community. Swim High.
Yeah.
Whatever her name was. I'll be honest.
Winter.
I was Swim High Winter. I'm shocked that she's still alive, to be honest. I thought she would have been dead by now, but
Well, dolphins, I think you're underestimating the lifespan of dolphins because Winter did not die of old age. Winter died from a gastrointestinal issue.
Jesus. Oh,
I'm gonna Google this. Like, dolphin.
Actually...
Okay, I want you to guess what you think a dolphin lifespan is. I'm gonna guess too before I Google this.
I'm gonna say 40. I'm gonna say 40. A tight 40, because any longer than that is insane. But
yeah, I was gonna say like 25.
Okay,
but
well,
it depends on the type of dolphin.
Okay.
And I don't know what type of dolphin Winter was, but it looks like the average is like about 45 to 50.
So
Yeah, Winter was like 16, dude.
Jesus, that was a child. We
Yeah.
lost a kid. Wow, that's actually really sad. So sorry to hear about Winter.
Yeah. That's it's unfortunate news.
Yeah. Well, in her honor, we're gonna talk about Tick Tick Boom, which Winter would have loved.
Yeah.
um,
Probably, yeah. I mean, there's lots of singing. Dolphins probably like singing.
Dolphins like music.
Dolphins love Lin-Manuel Miranda.
It's a known fact. Yeah. Yeah, they play Hamilton to the Dolphins to make them happy. I don't know.
I guess, yeah. Anyways.
Anyway,
if you want to read that Google synopsis of Tick Tick Boom.
Yeah. Tick, tick, ... boom! ! Based on the autobiographical musical by playwright Jonathan Larson, it's the story of an aspiring composer in New York City who is worried he made the wrong career choice. That's what Google gives us.
That's it?
Yeah. Let's look at the
Seriously?
IMDb. Google's really been letting us down pretty consistently recently. I don't know what it is. The IMDb is, on the cusp of his 30th birthday, a promising young theater composer navigates love, friendship, and the pressures of life as an artist in New York City.
Okay, that's better. What was the Google one again?
The Google one was based on the autobiographical musical by playwright Jonathan Larson. It's the story of an aspiring composer in New York City who is worried he made the wrong career choice.
Yeah, that's kind of weak. That's almost just like, yeah, this is a movie. That's like what they're getting towards with the progression of these.
Yeah. Yeah, neither are really great, I'm going to be honest. But
Yeah.
that is something I learned, is that this is not, because you think this is, I mean, it's semi-biopic, adaptation.
Yeah.
Adaptation.
Adaptation.
It's been a long day. Of like, this is an already made musical that Jonathan Larson actually made, kind of about himself.
Right.
The thing is, and I think this is a good disclaimer. I don't know. I'm speaking for myself here. I know jack shit about Rent and Jonathan Larson.
Yeah, I don't either. I think my parents have seen it. I've not seen it.
Okay. Which makes us the perfect people to talk about
Yeah.
this movie.
We're viewing it through the lens and the eyes of people that don't know anything about
Exactly. I think there is some. I enjoyed it a lot for someone who didn't know anything about it. For the record,
Yeah,
I was like,
and to be fair, it's not at all about Rent. It's just
No,
about
it's not
this
about
guy's
Rent.
life.
It's about Jonathan Larson. Well, maybe like a fictionalized version of him that he wrote about. Well, I don't know. It's a mix of things. But it's a musical directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's his debut feature, I believe, starring Andrew Garfield.
In the Heights, he didn't direct, right?
He did not direct that. No,
that's kind of confusing because that's a adaptation of a musical that he wrote, and I think he wrote the screenplay for.
He wrote the music, and I think he wrote the screenplay. Yeah.
But he didn't direct it, and this is one that someone else wrote the screenplay of, and it's an adaptation of someone else's musical, and he just directed it. So it's like literally the complete opposite.
He's had a crazy year, Lin-Manuel, because he did In the Heights. He's got this. He's got Vivo, which is an animated film that he, I believe, starred in. That is also a musical of sorts. And there's also Encanto, which is another musical animation that I believe he did the music for. He also helped write it. No, he did not do the music for it, but he helped write it. He's very busy, Lin-Manuel. The man is staying busy. And honestly, good for him. But
the thing I wish, though, before we get into it, is that, of course he has just like In the Heights, he has like a cameo in this, but it's much shorter. It's
very
literally
tiny.
like 3 seconds.
I
just wish that in the cameo he did the meme face.
Just did a quick bite the lip. Yeah.
It would have like ruined the movie completely.
Everyone would be like, "Oh God, he did it! He really did it!" Oh, yeah.
Okay, now before we talk more about this film, which did you like better, this or In the Heights?
This, definitely.
Yeah, me too.
This.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, they both had. I think I really don't like Lin-Manuel's. I'm a huge fan of rap music, but I don't like the way he incorporates it into musicals. It very rarely works for me, and I just can't get into the music, and it just comes off corny a lot of the time, which like normal, like this kind of musical also comes off corny a lot of I think musical theater has just a bad rep as being extremely corny.
It's what we're learning is you're kind of discovering right now that you hate musical theater. You think they're all a bunch of losers. You're like, everything anyone does in song makes it 10 times worse.
Bad, yeah. Just say it. Just say it.
Just say the thing. Don't sing it.
Say the damn thing.
In real life, people talk words.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that out of the way. You like this better than In the Heights.
Yeah, for a
And I
variety of
agree.
reasons. Yeah, I really, and I think it's because he doesn't deserve the amount of trash that he gets, Lin-Manuel.
Yeah.
Because he gets memed on to death. And honestly, for good reason, like that picture, and he is a very corny individual a lot of the time.
Yeah. And we talked about that in the Heights episode, where my feeling is that he is trying to make the most commercially acceptable version of his vision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's part of his vision is making
Totally.
it as family friendly as possible. And just like, which I think is something ingrained in the theater process, which is actually something touched upon in this film, where it's like part of success is making something that is as easy to like recommend to people as possible.
Yeah.
So like in this film, they're talking about, his first film was about like robots, and like no one's really gonna see that.
Yeah.
Or first production, sorry, it's not a film.
Right.
He's not a filmmaker. Like not
did
like Karsten
robots.
Runquist, our resident filmmaker at the Karstcast.
Well, I'm a florist, so I don't know where
You're
got
a florist.
That.
Yeah. Now, I actually, my favorite thing about this film is the format and pacing.
Me too.
Because this film, once it starts, the pace stays the exact same, and it's so snappy the entire 2 hours.
Absolutely.
Like you can't breathe this entire film.
Totally. Yeah. I think that I think all the pieces work together, and that's why it kind of feels like that, because I definitely never felt bored. And I agree. I think the edit is just like so on point. I looked it up, and the editor for this did a lot of the a lot of Wes Anderson's movies, which is interesting.
Really?
Because his movies are also very just.
Yeah.
Those are like I don't get bored at Wes Anderson movies. There's something
Maybe
about this guy.
Lin-Manuel and Wes Anderson are getting too much credit, and it's just this person.
I agree. I thought you were going to say maybe Lin-Manuel and Wes Anderson should make a musical together.
That actually sounds... See, that's something that I think some people think would be the greatest film of all time, and it actually would probably be really weird and bad.
It'd be really not great, no.
Yeah, I feel like the things they're good at are like competing almost.
Wes Anderson's whole thing is like making things really dry, and
there's a lot of nuance,
overacting as much as possible.
Right, right. So like, they're just very competing philosophies. Where Wes Anderson there's so much nuance and subtext, and I guess the point of musical theater is to sing the subtext. Yeah. So it doesn't really work.
Doesn't translate.
Yeah.
So it is really well paced. Let's talk about Andrew Garfield, who is
Andrew Garfield
really goddamn
kills
good
it in this movie. He kills it in this movie.
So good.
Like you can't take your eyes off Andrew Garfield in this movie.
No, and I like it because I feel like this is a role that would be really easy to overplay and just to be too crazy about, but he somehow like never goes too far with it. Like he stays in a believable range that just makes it really compelling. And I mean, I've
always been
Garfield.
Me too. I love Andrew Garfield.
You should watch Main.
Ever since I saw him in the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, I've been on that Garfield train. I wear those T-shirts that say
Garfield
I hate
gang.
Mondays, and it has Andrew Garfield's face.
They make so many shirts like that. Yeah, that's crazy. He was really great in this. I didn't.
He loves lasagna.
We're like, he didn't eat lasagna once in this movie. Didn't really see.
And they were at a diner. Like
they were at a
diner. Order lasagna.
A diner.
Like in the scene where everyone's ordering stuff on the Sunday like brunch. Someone should have been like, lasagna now.
And there should have been a quick moment.
Come on, Garfield.
Andrew Garfield's like.
he starts eating lasagna.
He's like, what day is it? They're like, Monday. He's like, fuck. It's like,
I mean, that's what Daya's big like recital was on. That's why he was so stressed the night before. Is because like tomorrow's Monday. Shit.
Oh, it's Monday. There should have been a lot of Garfield. Like I don't know. Subtext.
That might be the worst recommendation we've ever had. It's like, imagine we have Lin-Manuel on the podcast. We're like, did you think about making fun of Andrew Garfield's name and pretending he was Garfield the cat? and then Lin-Manuel just does the face and hangs up the call.
We land the biggest interview of our life, and that's the first question. We're like, first question. Have you considered Andrew Garfield's last name? And the potential of that. That's really good. Anyways, he's really good in the movie.
That's really all I have to say about Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
I said he was good for 20 seconds, then spent 3 minutes pretending he was Garfield the cat. But no, he was really, really good in this. And if that was him singing, which I probably should have done the research and looked that up, great singing.
I'm going to look it up right now. Did Andrew Garfield sing in... Oh, God, I can't spell. In Tick, Tick, Boom. You know, he probably had... Yes. The first result is, yes, Andrew Garfield is really singing in Tick, Tick, Boom.
See, and the thing is that the reason it's phrased like that and people are asking the question is because it's so good that people were skeptical. They're like, how can there be this much talent
in one man, in one cat?
Yeah, how does he have time for all of these skills? You know, he he can act in many great films like Social Network, Imaginary Dr. Parnassus, Spider-Man. He also can sing in this film.
Yeah.
He also has time to be mean to a dog.
He's got many great films. A Tale of Two Kitties.
He has to answer to John all the time.
Andrew Garfield has to answer to John. Andrew Garfield.
I mean, his name is John in this
to
film.
The character.
Coincidence?
I really wanted to look up if his like agent's name was
He's a
John
method
or
actor.
something, because that'd be really funny. Yeah. Oof. What else? I don't even know. I guess I learned a lot about Jonathan Larson in the process,
Which makes sense because it is like a semi-biographical film. It's like what? How would you even define this? Because it's not really a biopic; it's an adaptation of a biographical play.
I know. Yeah.
So that's strange.
That's the thing. It's like Jonathan Larson. It's like if you wrote your own biopic and then someone else directed it, which is honestly best case scenario, especially if the guy directing your biopic is musical theater legend Lin-Manuel Miranda.
And also, best case scenario, I can't think of many people I would rather have play me than Andrew Garfield.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think that Andrew Garfield in a biopic of us, the Cars cast, would be more likely to play you or me?
Probably you. No, like 100% you. You have more Garfield in you. I don't know who would play me.
I do hate Mondays.
You do hate Mondays.
Also, I'm closer in age.
You are closer in age, yeah. I don't know who would play me.
I do want to say, though, a lot of this film is talking about how when you turn 30, you're super old.
I was thinking about that. I was like, damn, I wonder how Jeff's enjoying this
it's
movie.
like, because I turned 30 this year.
Yeah. How does it feel? Did this resonate with you in any way?
Well, I mean, it doesn't make you feel great about that when it's like, it's like, my life's over. I'm 30 now.
He's like, I'm running out of time. And you're like,
I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And it's like, what have you done with your life? And I'm like, oh, I talked to Karsten Rundquist for about 200 hours on record.
Yeah. Fuck, I had a really good point and I forgot it. I was gonna make a joke about the dolphin actually running out of time, but that's actually not
that's
funny.
Kind of not funny. That's yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's
Sorry. I was gonna make a different joke saying, never mind. It's not a funny joke.
Now getting back to actually talking about the film, the songs in this, I thought were, and again, it's easy to compare this for us to In the Heights, even though of course it's not written by the same person, and the songs were not written by Lin-Manuel. As far as I know, he didn't have input on that, right? Were they already?
He probably had like a little.
I'm sure he had
input,
some input, but I think the songs were from the play,
the original musical. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the songs were much better than In the Heights.
Absolutely. I mean, they were fantastic songs. The Sunday thing was really great. I really liked even though it was like really over the top, I liked the modern relationship argument thing. That was fun. Vanessa Hudgens is like pretty good in the movie, which I was surprised by, considering she was like very bland in High School Musical, but she has the chops. I think like the biggest. What were you gonna say? Your mouth.
Oh, I was just gonna say I agree that the songs are a lot better than The Heights.
Yeah.
Because In the Heights, my biggest complaint was that in half the songs they're just repeating like one line over and over again. They're like, in the Heights, in the Heights.
In the Heights.
It just sounds like chanting.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is like In the Heights was not treating it like a musical, which made it feel overlong and just repetitive, which I guess go hand in hand. But clearly, you got to give Lin-Manuel credit here, because he clearly knows like the appeal of musical music.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Lin-Manuel is absolutely a genius when it comes to musical theater.
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason he's, one of the most commercially successful musical theater people that's ever lived.
Yeah.
And he directed this, so obviously like a ton of the credit has to go to him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's just he didn't write these songs specifically, but the way he directed this, in the way the film is structured, just makes it just works, I guess,
Right.
for me.
I mean, that's what I'm like. I'm just impressed because, like, obviously he doesn't come from like a film background, but like he really like knew how to film and like keep the momentum of this so exciting and so emotional. Like, I was actually, because like in the Heights, it's like I was rolling my eyes a lot because it was so poorly paced. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, it was slow,
It's like
and
kids on
also
the beach.
the songs were really cringy.
Yeah, but here it's like, and maybe because the topics were like just a little bit more carefully handled and a lot heavier. I was like, damn, I'm actually like, I'm there with the film. It's really working on me, and I don't know. I was just like genuinely kind of surprised with how snappy and engaging this was for me.
And I also think the fact that it was treated closer to like a narrative film in the way it was shot, where a lot of the In the Heights, it was these musical set pieces that just were like bad versions of La La Land in terms of it was all these big set pieces, but none of them were very good or interesting.
No.
Where this, it's filmed primarily like you would film like something that's not a musical.
Yeah.
And it's just these like quick kind of vignettes of his life interspersed with these flashbacks and like the modern,
Yeah.
I guess it's not really modern day, but it's him performing the musical that the adaptation is.
Yeah.
Which is not modern, because modern is now looking back on this, so it's just less flashback.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I'm almost there with you. Yeah. That's true though. Like, I don't know, not to compare to In the Heights, but it's just such a good example of like a musical theater film done wrong. It's just like half of, if not all of those musical scenes are just people gathering in the streets, and like everyone on your block is all of a sudden like dancing and singing, and it's such a like a cliche at this point. It's like it's like easy to make fun of that in musicals, whereas like this, it just like has fun with that and actually like utilizes what film has to offer. Like the pool scene when like the musical notes are on the lanes, it's like, it's cheesy, but it's also like, it's cool. It's like,
you
get that in movies.
Definitely. Because I think the magic of the theater, version of musicals is hearing, it's the same with improv comedy, which sounds very stupid to say, but I just mean the magic of it is in the live performance aspect, where watching filmed improv kind of sucks because you don't have that, feeling of being in the same space when this is happening. So for music, it's, part of the magic is hearing the people actually singing live. So if you're not going to have that as an element, which it's not, of course, in theatrical versions, I don't think it's as easy to get away with, doing what In the Heights is doing, where it's these big set pieces that are trying to kind of recreate what kind of set pieces are on stage when you have tons of people gather around, like spin in circles all together and like throw someone in the air and they're like taking out the trash. And like, where this, it's just the music's treated in a different way. It's not treated as the like big spectacle that's the only thing. You also have a normal film to go along with it.
Yep.
Rather than this, it's trying to, something trying to just accentuate the music and make you focus more on the music. This gives you the music and also, much more of a visual experience that's a bit more independent to go along with it. And I think that I appreciate a lot.
Nice. Yeah. That's a great point, Jeff.
Thank you.
Yeah. I feel like we like barely, I feel like we've touched on so much for people who have no idea what Rent is. I mean, we don't have no idea what it is. But, well,
that's because we haven't talked about Rent at all.
No, we have not talked about Rent once.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm ready. I want to hear one of your famous Karsten Rundquist insights.
You can't just put me. there's no. What the fuck was that about? That was insane. No. Okay, I do have a fact. Something interesting is that this has the same. It has a lot of the same people that worked on Synecdoche, New York, in the production design and costume department. Like a lot of people that work on Charlie Kaufman movies in general, which kind of makes sense because it's like it honestly is very like in the same vibe as Synecdoche, New York, where it's a guy trying to put on a big production and kind of like getting lost in his head. And I think whoever I should have like looked up the name to credit her, but like really great production design. I love it's like dull and like super gray and brown, but in a way that's like nice to look at. It's not shallow.
No, I totally agree. Yeah. And that's, I think is related to what we were both kind of agreeing on with the fact that it's shot just like a narrative non-musical film. Yeah. Where in The Heights, the production design, it's like theatrical in appearance, where everything feels like it's built for a theater, where you'll have like people standing on like awnings and stuff. Balconies. You don't stand on awnings. That's not what I meant at all.
Awnings.
But you know what I mean? Where so I think the production design was really good.
Yeah.
Totally. It's a very interesting fact about the relationship to Charlie Kaufman films.
That's that Karsten Runquist insight.
That's the Karsten Runquist insight. You only get that. He actually patent pending.
Yeah.
I'm the one who patented the Karsten Runquist insight.
Yeah.
I will say I was trying because we actually had an issue where we just a quick aside. We are going to appear on the Intercut podcast doing a Wes Anderson ranked. So that's just a nice. So check that out when that's available. I think sometime this week. But I couldn't get into Skype, so I had to try to make a new account. And I tried to make my email karstenrunquist@outlook.com. And it actually accepted it. So I think I now own karstenrunquist@outlook.com.
That's insane. I can't believe I haven't. I thought I made a K Runquist or something. Not to
I'll sell it to you.
But okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. You know what? I made my username in like middle school when I first set up a Twitter. I made a Twitter that's Karsten, like at Karsten Runquist. Never tweeted on it. Didn't follow anyone on it, and lost the account info for that. So I can't even buy that username. It's just it's me.
That's not great.
Yeah, it's
now
shitty.
I will say we'll get back. I won't go through all this, but my brother has the greatest story of stealing a Twitter account of all time. He pretty much tricked his coworker who produced the podcast at his old company into changing his name on Twitter, and then he was gonna reclaim the old name on like a burner account just so he kept the name. My brother then tricked him, walked to his desk, stole the guy's account, and here's the thing, and I don't know exactly where this is to find, but my brother has it recorded on like some podcast somewhere, the whole story. But what he did was through a variety of methods, he got Twitter to verify his fake account. So my brother had a verified fake parody account of his coworker.
Dog.
And then he kept tweeting, pretending to be this guy, saying, like, he promoted a tweet on Twitter that said, "This is the official account of this guy. All other accounts are malicious parodies."
Your brother is such a dick. That is an insane move.
Yeah. So I'm sure,
I couldn't even get verified. Not that I'm deserving of it, but I'm like, how the hell?
How's Jared verified?
Well... Yeah,
it's Jared. Yeah, it was Jared got verified from working at his old media company. So everyone there got verified. I think they might have had like an in with someone at Twitter.
That's very.
But I think you should be verified. I think I should not be verified, but you should be verified.
I'm verified on YouTube and a music board, which is Letterboxd but for music.
Well, I will say one method before we get off this topic that Jared used to get the fake account verified is that he promoted a tweet. Like he paid $5 to promote the tweet.
So you have to give money to Twitter so that they're like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, just because I think that might have bumped him up. It's unsubstantiated, but that there seems to be a connection that he paid them $5.
Yeah,
and they
you
got
heard it here
verified.
first.
But for $5,
not bad.
Good deal.
Yeah, it's the Jeffrey Borslow insight.
That's the patented Jeffrey Borslow insight.
Well, I guess we could like put out some closing thoughts.
Yeah, closing thoughts. I mean, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
That's what I was gonna. I'm like surprisingly enjoyable.
Yeah, like here's the thing.
Yeah,
an amazing film if you're with your family for Thanksgiving. This is one that everyone's gonna enjoy.
Yeah,
I think this is my absolute recommendation. This is a thing.
Thanksgiving.
Would you agree this is your recommendation for a Thanksgiving movie to watch with the family?
I think it surpassed Finch. I'm gonna be honest. I think I think I liked it a lot.
What about Titan?
I will probably bring up T10 at
Titan. Yeah, every time I say it differently.
Every time. I'm gonna bring it up at Thanksgiving. See what people, if anyone saw it.
Yeah, and you can say Jeff liked it better than Raw.
I'll be like, let's double feature Raw and T10 as a family. I
have a feeling if you do that, you're not gonna get T10.
Invited to the next one. Yeah.
But no, great film to watch with the family. The songs are fun. Andrew Garfield's very, very good.
I think if we're doing any predictions here,
I was about to ask you that. Yeah, do you think he's getting any?
He might get nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars, but I really think he might have the Best Comedy Actor at the Golden Globes.
Is it musical / comedy?
Yeah, it's always like Best Musical or Comedy, and
Why do they group those like that?
It's a really weird, random. The Golden Globes don't make any sense. But like Get Out was nominated in the comedy category. I was like, I don't know how that's. Anyways.
Yeah, maybe it's just one person who doesn't understand films at all.
Yeah,
and they were just laughing while watching it.
Yeah. They're like families. Am I right? No, I
still haven't seen Get Out.
You have not seen Get Out. I think I'm looking at the 2021 list that I have right now, and I think he's got that one locked in. I'm going to be honest. I think this will be a very good movie in award season, but I could be wrong. Anyways. Jeff, I'm really excited. This is unrelated, but I'm so excited for you to see Red Rocket. That is a phenomenal movie. I love it so much. Just surpassed it on the list.
All right.
But yeah, that's Tick, Tick, Boom. What are we feeling for a score, Jeff?
I'm feeling like a solid, because again, I just watched it 20 minutes before we started recording.
Yeah.
But like my immediate reaction is like a solid 4.
Yeah. I gave it a 3.5, but I might bump it up to a 4. Because I'm like, at the end of the day, and I don't even know if this is grouped in as a biopic, but it's like one of the first like well-made, what's the word? Like tasteful biopics. Yeah. Like it feels very much like, and again, I don't know anything about Jonathan Larson, but I'm like, this feels like a very respectable and unapologetically like unique and I don't know. I forget the word. I already said all the words.
Yeah, you said enough of them.
I said words.
I agree. I mean, I think that, obviously since I didn't really know who this was before watching it, it makes it easier as a biopic where when you watch, Bohemian Rhapsody, for instance, and then people know already a lot about Queen and Freddie Mercury. So you're like, wow, this is a really standard biopic.
Yeah.
With not anything interesting to say. Mm-hmm. Where this one at least feels a bit, deeper than that. But I think also that's because the person wrote it about themselves.
Right.
And they seem like they were probably a pretty introspective person. Yeah. Since they were someone who wrote plays for a living.
Yeah, they won the Pulitzer Prize for this. Not this movie, but, for the...
Yeah.
Anyways, if anything... makes me want to check out Rent. That's
what And you don't need to rent this film. It's on Netflix.
There it is. Great. Well, that was Tick Tick Boom. Next, we want to get into some Q&A. We
Here's
want
the
to answer
thing.
questions.
I am a huge fan of Carson Runquist. I don't know if everyone listening knows this about me, but I will pretty much agree with anything Carson says. So if Carson says it's time to answer questions, I'll answer some questions.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's a great guy. I think I've said this, a few times on the podcast, but I know Carson Runquist in real life, and he is as nice as you hope he is. Because people, they watch your videos and they're like, this guy seems pretty nice, but sometimes YouTubers are like kind of assholes in real life. Carson Runquist is not that. Just a profoundly nice person.
Yeah. Jeff is also kind. And with that, this first one comes from $15 patron Gavin Gibson, and that's right. If you're a patron and you pledge $15 a month, you get those questions answered in these episodes. But this one comes from Gavin Gibson, and it's, what's the best trailer you've seen for a film? It's a good question.
Best trailer.
Now, that's a big question. It's like ever. Yeah. But I really like the new Matrix trailer. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have not seen it.
I
don't watch a lot of trailers.
See, neither do I. But like, since the movies have come back, I've like, you're forced to sit through them at the movies, and seeing that Matrix trailer before Dune in IMAX is like, wow, it is a really well edited trailer. I don't even like the Matrix that much, but I'm excited for that new movie.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I'm gonna say though, because the only trailer I've spent a significant amount of time watching.
Yeah.
Is the Baby Driver trailer. That's a phenomenal trailer.
It is a really good trailer. It's a good one to spend a lot of time editing and watching.
Editing yourself into. I loved it so much. I spent 10 hours editing myself into the trailer.
You're like, I want to be in it.
I want to be
Baby Driver. That's how much this guy liked that trailer. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a very well edited trailer.
Yeah. I think some others are Portrait of a Lady on Fire has a really good trailer. That's also one that I only watched a lot because I used it for an editing class. We had to re-edit it or something. And then the mid-90s trailer is really good. It's very unfortunate that the movie did not live up to the hype because the trailer was really well made.
Yeah. The movie was okay though.
It's not bad, but it's like it was truly just like, okay, that was good. Yeah.
It felt like that movie was coming out at a time when there was this kind of zeitgeist around that time period.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, maybe this is like a definitive modern looking back into the mid 90s, and it just turned out to be kind of like decent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it felt like if it was good, people would have remembered that movie for years, and it kind of feels like that's not the case. Yeah.
It was like I enjoyed it though. I would be willing to watch it again.
Yeah, exactly. It's that type of film where you're like, I remember this being like pretty enjoyable, a little bit traumatic.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really kind of hard to watch at times.
It was hard to watch. Like that scene of of when he's screaming at his mom in the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was kind of upsetting.
A lot of really uncomfortable moments in that movie.
And you're saying that as someone who loves Raw.
What?
Just saying that if that's uncomfortable to you and you love Raw.
Oh, yeah. Then this is
Then this is very uncomfortable.
T10 is way more uncomfortable than Raw, but I guess that's where we maybe disagree. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I hope that answers that question. Thank you, Gavin, for the question. Let me check.
I do remember I watched the Toy Story 4 trailer we saw it, I think. It might have been with Jonathan Oppenheim. When the second episode ever.
Yeah.
In your room.
And I was like, we're all going to watch this trailer and then we're going to talk about it. And then we didn't talk about it. Yeah. These next ones come from the not the Patreon, the subreddit, the Carscast subreddit, r/Carscast. lovely folks over there. This first one comes from Very Neat Guy. And it's question for Karsten, best part of Florida. Question for Jeff, best part of Minnesota, if you've been. Now, I don't think you've been.
I've only been to the airport.
You've been to the... Well, okay. The airport is really nice in Minnesota, I will say. I think we have a nice airport here. I don't know if you remember much of it.
Though. You have a lot of lakes. I like that idea.
We do have a lot of lakes.
It's probably going to be real, like, targeted territory when global warming makes a lot of the earth unlivable. Lakes are going to be clutch.
They're going to be nice. Yeah, I'm really...
Minnesota's going to have a renaissance.
Totally. I like Disney World. I'll say it.
Yeah?
I like Disney.
More than Universal?
I've never been to Universal, so I can't speak on it.
Yeah, because people love Harry Potter World.
Yeah. Wait, Universal, that's in LA, right?
No, we have Universal Studios in Orlando as well.
Oh. I went to one in LA and saw the Harry Potter World there.
Yeah, we have one as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we also have Busch Gardens, which is in Tampa.
You guys have lots of...
Yeah, we also have SeaWorld, which is... don't go to SeaWorld.
No, anti-SeaWorld. But yeah, Disney World, not to be that guy, but a lot of good memories there as a kid. Even though I only went there one time as a kid.
Okay.
But it was a really memorable trip. I had a really fun time.
Disney World is great for children. I mean, it's fine for adults too. I
kind of want to go back. Yeah.
No, the thing about Disney World that is head and shoulders above, other theme parks is the immersion that they can create with their themed areas.
Yeah.
Because for instance, in Chicago, you're only an hour and a half from that Six Flags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's fun if, as an adult, you're just like, I want to go on some roller coasters. They're all slapped together and there's nothing really themed about it.
Yeah.
But in Disney World, it's like you're waiting in line for a Pirates of the Caribbean thing. And it's like even the air feels musty and all this stuff. And you're just in this tunnel walking with you
feel like you're not in a part of the world. You forget you're in Florida. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It just feels like you're in some kind of weird land where, I don't know. It's an interesting, especially for children, it's such a fun feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I agree. Disney World is fun.
Good place.
Now, Disney, the company,
is questionable.
Yeah, questionable for sure.
Now, not to dox myself. Maybe this is doxing myself, but I'm going to, without being specific, I recently learned I live extremely close to Walt Disney's childhood home in Chicago. I just randomly looked up attractions on Google Maps, and it said Walt Disney childhood home, and it was very near me.
Yeah, I just grew up living really close to Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
Could feel that energy, I think I've definitely told you this, yeah.
I think you did, yeah. Yeah,
because I played soccer against his son. Because his son was the same age as me.
Did you? So you've met Hulk?
Yeah. I've told you this. Where, I was at a park one time when I was 6, and he, when he was wrestling, because this is in the 90s, he spun me around on one of those, things that have, it's like a disc that spins, and there's, these bars that you can use to push it. So when he was wrestling on steroids, he did that, and it was the fastest, most G's I've ever experienced in my life.
You've maybe told me this before, but I am pretty sure this is the first time I'm hearing this. This is an insane Jeff fact.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
I know, it's ridiculous. I'm a very Florida person.
Yeah. Yeah. You're the Florida man.
I am.
Cool. This next one.
Do you have any celebrity encounters like that?
No, I don't have a lot of fun celebrity encounters.
Because I have a few of them.
Yeah. What's another one?
Well, I peed next to Derek Jeter in a Cheesecake Factory bathroom when I was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also was leaving the bathroom in the Empire State Building as the Dalai Lama was entering.
Wow.
Yeah, so we made eye contact.
Damn. Okay. The only big celebrity sighting that I have is Christian Bale in airport security. And doing my passport shit right near him.
Yeah.
And looking at Christian Bale's passport. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, you also have ones where Sean Baker you talked to for a bit.
That was, a
But those are
Storm
like those
Baker.
are not random. Those are like you went to a
No.
screening and talked
That's
to him
what
for
I'm
like a
saying.
minute afterwards.
And I've met a
doesn't
lot
count.
of like smaller people, but I feel like Christian Bale is the one like massive celebrity where I'm like, holy fuck, it's Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Like, I was very starstruck after that, and I'm not someone that gets that starstruck. I met G-Eazy when I was young, but I think I've talked about that.
I don't know who
before.
that is.
He's a really cheesy rapper. Let's move on. This next one,
Is that does everyone know who that is?
he's pretty popular. He dated like Halsey. I don't know. The kids love him. I'm looking. There's one that's like kind of political. I don't know if we want to get into it. Well, actually, I guess we'll get into it. This one comes from Dr. Aneurysm. This is how we'll end the questions. And it's, have you been watching the Rittenhouse trial? Opinions aside, it's entertaining to watch. That's not even that political. It's just like a big event happening, but it is like kind of political. I have been like sort of here. I'll come clean. I deleted like Twitter and have been kind of like off social media, so I've been getting all that news a little late.
Yeah.
Via friends, but pretty crazy the more I hear about it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is there's a variety of things you have to consider with something like this, because I think it's really easy to hear someone say something about it, and then that kind of filters your worldview.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So I think regardless, you have to do your own. If you're going to have an opinion on it, you have to try to make sure that you're as informed as possible.
Absolutely.
And I think there's two different factors that are important in things like events like this, and that's a moral and ethical standpoint to have, and also like the imperfect legal framework that the U.S. exists within, right? Because the U.S. laws are inherently prejudiced against people over time. So a lot of like laws that have existed throughout the entire history of the U.S. they're not like laws that these people are coming up with in these like vacuums of correctness, right? Laws are made by people and groups of people, and a lot of times these laws are bigoted to begin with. So it's really, there's so many factors that it's hard to just have an opinion, right? So you could say, for instance, in this Rittenhouse trial, that he was justified in as self-defense, because legally self-defense is a viable, because we don't know exactly what happened, of course, and it's feasible that this was legally a justified self-defense thing. Like that's not out of the realm of possibility, but also from like an ethical and moral standpoint, why would someone
Cross
take
state lines.
cross state lines, take a gun, go to this protest?
Yeah.
Like why would it's like they
just
wanted
doesn't-
someone to attack them so that they
Exactly.
could need self-defense. Like if you didn't put yourself in that situation, you don't you won't need to defend yourself if you're not there. And
Yeah. That's why.
so I'm not really prepared to go too much further on this, but I just think it's more of a, things are always deeper than they seem. So it's like the reason why things are and are not illegal is something you need to kind of look into. Yeah, and also, it's just things are never black and white. That's the I think nuance is something that's lost on a lot of people.
Totally. Yeah. If anything, I do think this is just like a good example. I mean, not a good example. That's a weird word, but this whole case like shines a lot of light on how what you were saying, like the judicial system is a little messy and a little broken.
Right, because the thing is that like multiple things can be true here.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not impossible that what he did is wrong and also legal. So I don't think you can say, oh, the justice system in this specific instance failed. It's more of the mechanisms through which law works have allowed this to happen rather than this instance using the laws that already exist, them coming to the wrong conclusion.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, yeah. Yeah, that answers the question. You went in, Jeff. I didn't know what we were going to talk about there, but it is a messy thing to talk about, and it's hard to touch on it without just like kind of making a whole episode about it.
Yeah.
But I agree. It has been, I don't know if entertaining is the right word, but it's been interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to just to see this play out because it's such a important, it is important, these types of things, to just see how the country really operates.
Yeah. All right, and that's questions. That does it. Lot of ground covered.
We really have gone the entire spectrum of emotion in this episode.
Yeah. We even touched on Thanksgiving, which is crazy.
This has been our most, I think, intellectually and emotionally comprehensive episode we've ever done.
Tick, tick, boom. Let's get into the wrap-up. Firstly, we'd like to give what do we do? We read a review. Actually, that's not the first thing on the agenda. First thing is next movie. And, Jeff, I have a good recommendation if you don't already.
No, I'm ready to hear it.
I say we talk about King Richard.
I was going to actually also suggest that as one of the possibilities, yeah.
It just seems like a Cars Cast movie. It's honestly getting pretty good reviews. Will Smith is supposed to be pretty good in it. It's on HBO Max. It's like,
and also on YouTube, it's like for a couple weeks, that was half of the ads playing before videos I would get would be the trailer for King Richard.
For King Richard?
Yeah. I've seen the first, 10 seconds of that trailer so many times.
Wow. Well, yeah. We're going to talk about King Richard next week. So give that a watch. It seems like it's going to be a big awards movie, unless I'm wrong. But there's a lot of awards buzz around it.
That's actually a great way to phrase anything. Like,
it's a win-win situation.
I
say that.
It's like you're like, you know what? Who really knows? It's going to be amazing unless it's not.
We don't know. So what's the use in promising?
Yeah. And it's really just the fleeting. Just the fleeting life we have in us. Why predict? Just let it happen.
Let it happen. Next, we like to read a review from Chartable. We encourage you guys to leave reviews because we love hearing what you have to say, and it also helps the podcast.
And I love
the charts.
Yeah, it makes us feel good. I love seeing Karsten's face light up when he reads these.
Get all glowing, all red and this next one, or not this next one. This comes from Valeria Toes, and it's from the USA. The subject line is "Love the Milk," 5 stars, and it reads, "Okay, as a feet enthusiast, I love how much they talk about quarters, and I guess the movie talk is interesting."
Okay, you did not light up with that one.
I didn't. I don't read these reviews before I read them, so just know that.
Thanks for the 5 stars, though.
Thank you, Valeria Toes. The username makes more sense now. Next, this person means business. Next, we want to thank our patrons once again. If you would like to become a patron, if you're a consistent listener of the podcast and are like, I want more. I want to see these guys a little bit more, and I want to support them because I love supporting this free podcast, but I want to, pay for it.
Yeah.
And get a little bit of extra bonus content.
Join a lot of our favorite people, including my mom, in being a patron.
Your mom, amongst a bunch of other strangers.
Well, they're not strangers because we meet them and now have become friends with a variety of them who show up to the patron hangouts.
Truly is one of the best communities I'm a part of. And that's not just because they are people that pay me every month. But uh, anyways, you get bonus episodes, Q&As, shout-outs at the end of every episode, and Zoom Hangouts, along with some other stuff if we come up with anything. And, yeah, thank you. Sorry. Thank you, Alex Thomas, Anson Contreras, Antonio DeMarco, Blake Root, Boat, Brandon Yude, Brock Schultz, Camilla, Chuck the Duck, Coop, David Sir, Eden, Gavin Gibson, Grant Gow, Harry Remedianakis, Iva, Jaden Easton, John Van Hout, Carson Do a Backflip, Katie T, Liv Rob, Logan James Chapman, Lukewarm, Maddie Robertson, Martin Duff, Mary Lee Borslow, Meridian, Monopoly Shrimp on the Barbie, Monroe Page, Nora B. Riley, Sophia Arieta, Stella Perry, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Smitty Werben, Jagerman Jensen, Tobias Broke, Tom Lakes Beans, Wes Kinley, Wiley Todd, Xavier Fosier, Youssef A., Zinley Zames, Zichardson, and Zoe Hernandez McDonald.
Okay, did that
Zinley
second to last one try to be the last one?
They tried to be the last one, and they failed.
Ooh, close, though, close.
It's really unfortunate. Maybe next time. Zinley. And you know what? That's the podcast.
That's the podcast.
That
was
Tick, Tick, Boom.
I had a great time today here with you.
One of my favorite episodes, if I'm going to be honest. We kind of killed this one.
I agree. I mean, luckily, you know, we talked about Garfield the cat for a long time. So
yeah, we really covered some important topics.
Well,
Jeff,
you know,
I hope you have a lovely Thanksgiving.
I hope you do too. I mean, I think that you will because you've learned how to cook.
Yeah.
Are you going to cook any of your family dishes?
Most likely not, but I'll be like, hey, does anyone need any help? And they'll be like, no. And I'll go
and then
into the room.
Yeah. But if they say yes, you could.
I will, yeah. All right.
All right. Well, you know what? I'll catch you on the flip side, Karsten.
Catch you on the flip side.
Flip side.